welcome, Leanne. You guys, this is my friend Leanne Sedentop. Leanne is a client of mine as well.
Hi.
So, Leanne, I wanted to bring you on tonight because you have done my Fit in Six challenge, and what I love about you is that you've really found a way to make fitness not just like the 6 week challenge. You've really kind of kept going, and now it's sort of an everyday thing. So, tell me a little bit about how you've made that happen.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for sure. You and I met because I have the nutrition background and I would always joke, I was like, I've got the food figured out, but like the fitness, it would always be like a start and a stop and a start and a stop. And I just never found the thing.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, until I started doing your program, it was like a year ago, I
Yeah.
guess, maybe
It's
that I did it.
January. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just like checked all the boxes for me that I needed. And looking back on it now, I can be like, oh, like that makes sense that it worked for me. Like it just yeah, it just felt doable, and it was the thing that got me. I did it consistently enough doing your 6 week
Mhm.
program that as I got to the end of that, it was like, oh, I like how I feel. Like you start to get addicted in a good
Yeah.
way, to how you feel. Either, it's that getting over that first 5 minutes of
Yeah.
starting, and then you're like, oh, right, this is, um,
Yeah.
and and then afterwards too, you're like, sweet.
Yeah.
So like your program, it was, yeah, it was doable. It had like the external motivation factor too. Like
Mhm.
one of the things I think that prevented me from sticking with something before was that I need somebody else who's like kind of on my back and like, knowing whether or not I'm doing it. I need that external motivation. So like
Totally.
being able to, I knew that like you knew if I did my workout or not. And people were showing up in your group
Yes.
and like they were saying that they had done it. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I got to do
I
this
know.
now.
It's so funny how that
So
works,
that
right?
really
And it's
worked
funny,
too.
I'll have people say that all the time because we work in an app, a My Fit Coach app that I have. So what happens is Leanne would have to check off a box, like when she did her workout. And it's not like I'm sitting there looking at your account all day, like waiting, but I do pop in once in a while and kind of just check in and see how. So people are like, oh my gosh, I was so scared that you were going to see that I didn't check off my workout, right? Which is
Yeah, and it's like not like you're mean about it or
no.
anything because you're super like, life happens, and that's also cool is that you're really like you're real and you're not, some like military like boot camp person.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just like knowing like for me that works. Like I need a boss, you know.
Yeah.
So you were kind of like my happy boss for like
That's
workouts and
amazing.
stuff,
Yeah.
which was what I needed to
Great.
like get over that hump for sure.
I think that's really cool too. So just knowing that how you work and what type of motivation works for you. Sometimes we don't know till we've tried a program, but
Yeah.
I remember you saying that you're like the external, thing was really helpful for you,
Hmm.
right? And it was enough to get you
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, and that can be tricky, like for some people, around this time, and I know this is your topic,
Hmm.
like talking about like how do you stick to goals and habits and stuff, like it's not really the same for
No.
everybody. So like what works for one person doesn't work. And so just because that one thing didn't work for you doesn't mean you're
Yeah,
failing. It's just maybe there's something different, right, that
exactly.
you need to figure out for
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly, for sure. And
Yeah.
everybody wants to know about, results. Everybody wants to know about the results. So, I
Hmm.
mean, and for you, I remember entering into it. It wasn't, you weren't looking so much for a physical transformation. I do remember that. But do you want to tell people if you're comfortable, like you can talk physical stuff, but you
Yeah.
could also talk about like what else did you see? What kind of results did you see from doing the Fit in Six challenge?
Yeah. So there were some physical results, which is always
Mhm.
awesome. And I will mention those. But like for me, and especially like this time of year, and I know you were just mentioning like depression
Mhm.
and that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
like this is not my best time of year at all.
Same. Yeah.
And so getting a more of a consistent like exercise routine has literally been my medicine. Like it's been part of my self-care routine and like how I take care of myself and quite honestly how I manage getting through the winter.
Hmm.
And I'm just like I'm a different person like mentally and emotionally when I get the workouts in, and when I have missed a few days, I can tell.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, right. I haven't got, my daily dose,
It's
basically.
so true. Yeah.
So that has been huge for me. It's like, it sounds like, like I'm overdoing it, but like it's changed me, like in a
hmm
very positive
That's so
way.
amazing.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been awesome. So thank you.
I remember you being able to do push-ups from your toes too. I remember that happening,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I wrote that down because I wanted to mention that. Like when I was a teenager, I remember, do you remember when Madonna like came out and she was all
I sure
ripped? Like she
do.
had like her big muscly arms and stuff. And
Yeah.
I was like, ever since then, I was like, I want Madonna arms. So I don't quite have Madonna arms, but I was like, I've always wanted to be
Yeah.
strong, but I've never, women get told like don't lift weights because you'll be like bulky and you're just supposed to like go on the stepper for hours. And so
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, like doing your program and like getting more consistent with fitness, like I can finally do push-ups now, which, isn't necessarily a huge thing for a lot of people, but for me it was like, wow, like look at me.
hmm
Like I went from maybe being able to squeak out one
hmm
to like
You
10
know what I'm gonna
when
say
I
to
was
you?
doing
Don't
your
discount
program.
that. We talk about that. Don't discount that,
No, I
right?
know.
Might
Yeah,
not be a
for
big
sure.
deal for some. It's totally a big deal. It's a big
It
deal.
was
If you couldn't
a
do it
huge deal
before
for
and you
me.
can do it now, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. So don't discount that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like those wins, like they translate into the rest of your life. Because it's like, if I just did that, like I can bang out the rest of my day. Like whatever is coming at me, like
Yeah.
whatever, I can do
Like
push-ups
your
now,
kid's having a
Like you feel like a
meltdown, right?
superhero.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of women tell me that they're like, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time. And you know what? I get it. I'm the first person to be like, oh my gosh, we are so busy. And for me and for you, it's now ingrained in your life. But there's been times where it goes on the back burner because you're busy and you're a working mom of two little girls. How you making it happen, girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you making it work?
Um, I don't every day,
hmm
but it it became a priority for me,
hmm
right? And so I do work from home. I will acknowledge that and put that out there. So I do have a little bit more flexibility as far as like when I can get a workout in,
hmm
and that was a bonus of your program was that I could just like hit play and like push the table out
Yeah.
for 20
Yeah.
minutes and get it
Yeah.
done. But that said, like I'm working full-time hours and I do have two kids in school and other activities and those sorts of things. So it's a managing of priorities. Like it's a deciding that this is what I'm
And
doing
that you're there, that you
and figuring
are
out a
of
way to make that
value, right?
happen.
To that you're 100% worth
Yeah.
it and it's worth feeling that good to make the time. And I mean, I should highlight too, like it's not a lot of
Yeah.
time, right? Like what, I mean,
No, exactly.
we've cut it down. Like,
Which is
yeah,
awesome.
I've tried my best. Like I always say to people, like I cannot take the recommendations and like I can't cut them down any more than this. I mean, I guess I could, but like in order to have for the program to have the integrity and the results that I want and for you to be able to achieve the level of fitness that I want, we're talking about I ask on this program for 4 workouts, about 30 minutes. I think the max is like 35. That's the sort of the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like you can do 4 times a week at 30 minutes.
Which is for most people like that it is doable.
Hmm.
It may not feel doable. Like I know lives feel really busy and it might mean saying no to something else so
Yes.
that you can say yes to
Yeah.
yourself and do this
Yeah.
thing, right? It might mean getting your husband or partner on board and being like, I'm doing this.
hmm
It's often meant that I do my workout around my children while they're doing
Always.
whatever,
Always.
right? It's not always like picture perfect,
Yeah.
but it's just getting it done. And like I just keep like I would keep some dumbbells just shoved in under the couch and like a yoga mat or whatever, and that's all you need.
Totally.
So it doesn't require a bunch of setup and like one of the barriers for me before was like I didn't want to drive, even if it was 10 to 15 minutes. I didn't want to go out in the dark and the
Mm-mm.
cold and like go to the gym and then do the thing for an
Yeah.
hour and then have to cut. Like that was a huge chunk of my day and my time that I wasn't able or willing to like carve out. But like 30, 35 minutes, you can
And
do
totally
that
do
and you
that.
can make that
And you don't have to
happen,
worry
right?
about like
Yeah.
I shouldn't say I'm the laziest person, but I'm the same as you. Like I think I'm all about efficiency and I'm like, okay, it's annoying. I don't want to have to drive 20 minutes. There and back. I don't want to pack up
No.
kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to pack them extra snacks. I don't want to get interrupted when I'm doing my weights. to go pick up a kid who's crying or needs a diaper change. I'm not at that stage anymore,
Totally.
but I just found it annoying.
Yeah. And I like my kids to see me do it.
Yeah,
Like that's also like a big benefit,
yeah.
I think. Like my girls will like they want to show me their muscles, right?
Oh, I love
Like
that.
so that like is really important to me too, that they see that it's important enough for mommy to take some
Yeah,
time and we talk about that I do it because it makes my brain feel
yeah.
better, because it makes me have more energy to play with them, to like be a happier mommy.
Yes.
And so like it's benefited the whole
I just feel like
family,
I could let you
right?
go. Just keep going. You're preaching. Like, yes. These are all the things. These are all the things. Because it's about,
It's all the
right? It's about
things.
so much more than just
Yeah.
like, I mean, I joke, it's everybody wants the bikini body transformation. And we can make that happen on the Fit and Six Challenge. We really can if you want to make that happen. But there's so much more, I think, than just the like, I
Yeah.
lost, X number of inches off my waist. Like those things happen. Yeah, if you follow the program, totally. But I just, for me as coach, what I'm motivated by is seeing that and hearing that from you. That this is affecting you, your mental
True.
health, your daughters, relationships with their own bodies. Like, come on, right? So, so
Yeah.
good.
And I mean, like, it definitely helps the mental and emotional health too, and your clothes fit better.
Totally. It's
Like,
nice.
I don't want to discount that
No, I
either because
know.
that feels
I
awesome,
know. It's like when,
right? That feels great.
feels really nice when
Yeah.
you can zip up your pants and you're like, oh, I look really nice tonight, right? It's helpful.
Yeah, that's
For sure.
huge when you can look in the mirror and be happy with
Yeah.
what you're seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Fit and Six meal plan too, because
Yeah.
especially for you. So if you guys don't know, Leanne's a holistic nutritionist. So, I was like, hey, Leanne, you should check out this program I have. It's fitness, and also there's a meal plan, which you might not need because you know a lot about nutrition. But I think, and you've seen it and you've got a nutrition background. And so for you looking at that plan,
Yeah.
I think if I can just get your perspective, sometimes people look at a meal plan like that, like mine or this is anyone who's starting a meal plan right now, because I know we all are, and you get really overwhelmed. And sometimes it's so overwhelming you don't know where to
Yeah.
start. So, how did you find the meal plan and how did you find the discussions about food and things like that we had in the Facebook group?
Yeah, well, that's something like because I have recommended my past clients and friends and stuff to do your program as well, and that's one of the reasons that I really like believe in your program is because I'm like totally 100% behind the way you talk about food and stuff. And it's like it's not a diet. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to go to like five different grocery stores to find the
No.
ingredients, and you're not trying to like push a bunch of supplements or shakes or
Mm-hmm.
anything. Like it's like here's how to like fuel your body
Mm-hmm.
all the time,
Yeah.
right? Like so it's really just real life healthy eating. Um, which I know can be a big, like it can maybe feel like a big change for people, but I mean, you've always been really great in the group too about reminding people that it's just a guide. Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't, some people love, being told what to do and they just want to like follow it to the letter and that's easier for them and that's cool,
Mm-hmm.
but you're always reminding people that if that feels overwhelming, you don't have to, just use it as a guide and then, choose what works for you and incorporate it into your life in a way that feels doable. Because you don't have to do all the things all at
No,
once, right?
no. I
So,
actually had a
and you're really great at reminding people of that.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a client once
Yeah.
say to me, and she was so honest, and I actually was really great for it. She's like, you know what? I haven't been working out, so I am just going to focus on the workouts, and I'm not even going to look at your meal plan right now. And I was like, that's fine. I mean, because who am I? I
Yeah.
always like to remind people this is your life. It's not mine. I mean, these are things that work well and I want to share them with you, but it's your life and you're the one who has to choose the food that goes in your body. You're the one who has to choose the workouts. And so if it is overwhelming to you to do the whole thing, just start. And actually we had a comment today,
Yeah.
right, in the Facebook group. So we're
Yeah.
doing a mini challenge in my private Facebook group. You guys, we're doing like a 5-day keeping it real challenge. So I'm challenging people for 5 days just to eat real food, as much as you possibly can, and like but to not get crazy. Like, if you slip up, so to speak, you
Yeah.
just jump back on. And one lady's like, well, I'm guessing I'm gonna have to start tomorrow. And you and I are both like, no, right? Start now.
Yeah, just start.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's not, I mean, I know that that's a 5-day challenge, so it has like a start and an end date, but really it's your life.
Start
So
now.
why not now?
Exactly.
And if lunch didn't go so well, well, how about now, right? Like
How about right now?
every moment is a
Hmm.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
I
yeah.
love that.
So that's cool.
This is fun. I love talking. It's been a while since we've actually chatted. This is kind of fun. I feel
I
is
know,
I
I've missed this
is
so
anyone else
much. Hey.
watching right now? Um, I should probably get back to my regularly scheduled broadcast.
Yeah.
So, I guess I just wanted to ask, like, if there's like one last piece of advice that you give for anyone who really wants to make this the year that the fitness or the food for that matter, whatever those healthy changes, this is the year they're gonna stick. What piece of advice do you have for them?
Yeah. Well, other than what we just said, which is like just start,
Hmm.
pick something and just do it. Um, what I was thinking about is like it's just like pick one thing.
Hmm.
Pick one thing that feels doable and then do it consistently.
Yeah.
Instead of like having a laundry list of all the things you're going to change about every aspect of your life, like pick one thing. So if it's your health, then pick that
Hmm.
thing and do that thing over and over and over again until it doesn't feel new anymore and it's just kind of part of your life, right? So that would be my
That's such great
advice.
advice.
That's
And
what has worked for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what you've done with fitness too. I think a year ago you were just like, I'm just gonna just do these workouts, and then you've kept going, and you're still going, still going,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Because it feels good. And then yeah, once you get consistent and it's going to be uncomfortable for a little while because it's
Yeah,
new, right? And our body and our brain doesn't like
yeah,
change. And so we come up with all of these reasons and excuses not to do it, but you just got to kind of push through that because it's a it's a change that's like to your benefit.
totally, totally. And then once you
And
feel
then
the
you feel
difference,
better.
right?
Yeah.
Like I think sometimes we don't know how much better we can actually feel. Sometimes we don't know how crappy we feel.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That is so true. Like once the brain fog actually lifts
Hmm.
and it's like, oh, wow, I didn't know I could have these thoughts, like these
Yeah,
clear
I know.
clear thoughts and like not stumbling over my words all of the time and that
Totally,
sort of thing. It's like,
totally.
wow, yeah, it's a whole new world.
Amazing. Well, Leanne, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And yeah, I really appreciate you
Oh,
coming on
yeah,
and
thank you.
chatting. Like I said, it's just kind of fun to talk to you. And maybe we'll chat another time when we're not on Facebook Live and people are watching us, right?
Yeah, that would
That
be
would be
cool
cool
too.
too. We'll chat again soon. So
Yeah.
thanks so much,
Okay,
Leanne, and
cool.
we'll chat soon.
Okay, take
Bye.
care. Bye, guys.
Everybody.